Uhrichsville. We've got Belle Everett this morning, who's busily getting all ready. Hi, Belle. How are you?
Hi. Thank you for having me. I appreciate
Absolutely.
the opportunity.
It's our pleasure, of course, to have you come on in and talk about a few things. So we want to talk about Uhrichsville, what's been going on, what's going to be going on. So I don't know where the takeoff point would be for this, but we let me speak for Uhrichsville and say the Fall Festival was really nice, hosted on 3rd Street over the weekend. Robert and I were out there all the day and got to see a lot of people, and the weather turned out great. So I think everybody was pretty happy with how that turned out.
I heard they were. I heard the mayor and I think little Bella and maybe the mayor's wife, Stephanie. They were downtown checking things out.
When we
So it was
heard
great.
you on the radio as part of the 106,000 people that were cheering at Ohio Stadium.
I was.
But we had you on, so
Yes.
you were there in
Yes,
spirit.
I was. Thank you.
So, no, that's quite all right. So tell us what's going on. Let's look ahead just a little bit. You said we were just talking a moment ago about upcoming, of course, it's the Halloween season. So what are the festivities going to involve in Uhrichsville?
Well, I believe the festivities are Saturday, October 30th, from 5 to 7 p.m. That's a little safer time for children. It's not so dark.
Right.
And so we're hoping to see a lot of families out there. Just be safe.
I know last year we condensed that all into one parking lot, but we don't have to do that this time.
No, we don't. We don't. And, masks can be part of your costume.
That's right. Everybody wears a mask on Halloween.
It's been part of my costume for the last year and a half.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, we're hopefully to move away from that, but not quite yet. So,
No.
And speaking of that, with medical and emergency and that sort of thing, give us an update on the EMS and the fire coverage and that sort of thing. What has, I guess, become new and now operating? How is that going?
Well, I believe it was in April 1, 2020, the city began to provide its independent emergency medical services. That was a controversial decision, not so much by the city council, but maybe outside political subdivisions.
Yeah.
So there were a lot of folks who weren't happy. However, just to update you, as of January 2021, we came in with $227,012.49.
Okay.
And currently in our budget, in the EMS fire budget, we have $345,749.43. Now, I would project that by the end of the year, we'll have 375,000, which would be up 150,000 from the previous year.
Right.
It was a very difficult decision, I am sure, by many council members, but at the end of the day, council as a whole voted to do this. 75% of the calls, you have 3 paramedics, 1 EMT. The other 25% of the calls, you have 4 paramedics. No disrespect to an EMT, but a paramedic is highly trained. They can basically do what a nurse can do. They can treat you while you're waiting for that life flight, if you're unfortunate enough to have that. But the good thing is that you're fortunate enough to have, excellent EMS services at your, right there
At your disposal,
Yes,
yeah.
at
And
your
even when you're
disposal.
dealing with the 3 and the 1, that EMT person is
They-
trained and doing critical things that do not necessarily involve all the medical decisions.
Yes. Oh, no disrespect. I mean, it's
Right.
amazing. However, paramedics are a vital part of providing, an excellent service such as, EMS. We do have mutual aid agreements between Arrowhead in Jeanette Hutton and the city of New Philadelphia. So we do work collaboratively with them, and it's been wonderful. I mean, we've, put those agreements in writing, and it's been a great success, and I am pleased. I was pleasantly surprised at the figures too. So I can sit here and say that the decision has done no harm to the city of Uhrichsville, its residents, or those other outside political subdivisions we serve.
Right.
We're with Rush Township. We just signed with the village of Barnhill. A lot of these communities need these services, and they don't have the funds to provide
Absolutely,
them.
right.
So we're working with everyone.
And I think as a general rule, the firefighters, all the people that are actually working those, they get along fine. They want to do that. Sometimes politically it gets a little bit more entangled, but everybody wants everybody else to have that service. I mean,
Yes.
I want you to be safe, Belle.
It had become political.
Yeah.
And unfortunately, for our chief, Justin Edwards, he said, I'm not a politician. But I commend him for his leadership and for his oversight on the budget. That chief, he knows the budget inside and out.
Right.
They've, so far, I believe, had 1,150 calls this year.
Yeah.
I expect probably 1,400, close to 1,500 calls coming up. So, and during this pandemic, it's been very, very difficult for them. And I mean, even currently,
Right.
they're still,
Well, they're putting themselves at risk every time.
yes, they are.
So we appreciate that.
Yes.
Tell us about something else that's been wrapped up with First Street. What's been
Yes.
happening there?
East First Street. Well, initially, this was solely a Twin City Water and Sewer lead line replacement, water line replacement, and I want to thank the Twin City Water and Sewer District and Donnie Fawcett for allowing us to kind of jump in at the last minute to improve and change the storm sewer there at the Deersville East First Street, because it was a mess. It was caving in.
Yeah.
And so we needed to do something. So for under $200,000, we participated in that $1 million plus improvement. So now we did wrap up. Jeff Gessner was in with Newton Asphalt, did an excellent job. The asphalt's down and the nice straight lines are painted, and now you know which side of the road to be on.
That's very good.
yeah.
And it was a good time to jump in. They were already going to be in there, and that was the
Yes.
time to get that fixed.
It makes good
How old
sense.
was that? 80, 90 years old?
Oh, geez. It was Donnie would be able to answer
Yeah.
that, but it was very old. And thankfully, he's excellent at, seeking funds, EPA grants, things like that. So, but with the city, because the decision wasn't made when he was initially came to the city, we had to do what they call an OWDA loan. It's just a water development, storm development loan. So we're on the hook for some money, but I think it's well worth the investment.
No question.
So-
All right, let me ask you another trick question. Are cats still on the agenda for upcoming council meetings?
Oh, actually, I think it will go well. The ordinance, I can't tell you the number, but Councilman Chairman of the Ordinance Committee, Bob Baker, when he initially brought up that he wanted to put this ordinance in, I can say we all looked at him and thought, "Ooh, what are you because everything was kind of quiet on the home front."
Right.
But yes, we are putting the ordinance together, and basically what they do, this group and other groups, they basically raise the funds and they trap, but politely, kindly, humanely, trap. And then they neuter, spay, and release, because we have so many feral cats. And I can tell you, that's one of the number one calls to the city, to my desk, is I have all these cats. So, they're good for mouse control, but, they get to be out of control.
Right.
So
Too many.
that will be in its first reading. I believe Thursday evening. And I, would like to thank the Ordinance Committee, Ron Miller, Matt Fox, and Bob Baker, and J.J. Ong, because we all meet, and that committee is very vital to keep the ordinances, up to date.
Right.
So, yeah.
Well, let me ask you this then. If someone's interested in knowing what's going on with council, are they allowed to come face-to-face to the meetings? Is there a Zoom or online? I shouldn't give Zoom a plug, but is that capability there as well?
We do have our meetings live streamed via Facebook
Okay.
through Zoom. We do have face-to-face. However, we still have a mask mandate in the city building. Currently, even our city, since the COVID pandemic, I made the decision to lock the restrooms because we could not sanitize them for the police officers and firemen who needed to use those and the employees. And with the public coming in to use the restroom, and we didn't have to legally provide them one. So we don't offer restrooms. But, you come into the mayor's office. We just don't allow a large crowd. Mm-hmm. They can wait in the hall, but they have to have their mask on.
All right.
So.
And they can call you.
Oh yes. Call us. We're online. All of our ordinances, minutes, they're all online. Building permit, you can download it, fill it out. Unfortunately, we don't have a fillable PDF yet. But we do plan to do that so that you'll be able to just fill it out, email it. Now, we currently work with a lot of vendors where they're just faxing them in and then they send the check. We do not have a credit card machine at the city building, and that's the next step too, because those are the things that we realized, people can't do business electronically completely. They have to mail the check or bring in the cash. I mean, that's 19th century, check or cash.
But we're getting there.
We're getting there slowly.
All right. Well, hey, thanks a lot. Sounds like things are going all right then.
Yes, they are. Thanks.
Belle Everett from the city of Uhrichsville here on the 8:30 High Beam here on a BT Morning Show this morning.